Hail the Barbarian Horde, I'm Joe. Got another set of Conan comic reviews to get through. The first batch are those of, well, the first comic is of Conan's youth, which is, weirdly, I find this one pretty bland. Most of the Dark Horse comic backstory stories of Conan are really interesting, but this one, for some reason, bored me to tears. Now, interestingly, it's about Conan's first girlfriend as a kid, or one of his first girlfriends. He really likes her. They got together. She was the daughter of either a god or a shaman. Just reading this story, and then, like, within 5 minutes, I forgot some of the details. It's just boring. Conan, you'd think it'd be more interesting. Conan ends up fighting off and killing a bull to rescue her. Her dad gets angry when some licentious guys want to, well, take advantage of her, and decides to pin it on everyone, including Conan, and call down the wrath of the Aquilonians upon them, cursing them. I'm going to give it a quarter star. It's just not interesting. Then you have the next story, which is basically Conan hitting up some priests and trying to get through a narrow pass in the mountains. He's accompanied by Giara. The two share some banter throughout the story, but it's just a from point A to point B plot. Not terribly interesting, if I'm going to be honest. There's not much that really happens. It's an in-between thing. So it's not bad. It's just that this comic book run is more about the in-between stories between the major Howard stories. So this one's also fairly important. We're just getting Conan from point A to point B, basically. That is still important. It's just some of this we didn't exactly need. So I'm going to say this is 1 star out of 4. The next bit, where it's about a King Conan running into Picts, is much more interesting. In this story, he runs into a snake man who pretends to be a prophet who has ensorcelled and otherwise seduced some Picts to his own side. Conan needs to kind of shake his influence over them. So what he does is, he's after an initial battle and he's rescued by a Pictish shaman woman. He goes out to sea with her, goes under the surface into a sunken, I don't want to say shrine, but locale of some frogmen, finds a necklace, or basically a piece of jewelry that is capable of resisting some of the mind-influencing powers of some of the Snake Men priests, scares off the over-civilized frogmen, and swims his way back to Nia, his Pictish companion, and proceeds to basically then make his way with her to the Pictish tribe, unveils the disguised Snake Man, kills him, and saves the day. This story is a solid 2.5. It's a really good story. 2.5 out of 4 stars, folks. I do like this one. But I'll say Jim Zub wrote a better Pictish woman. I'll just be honest. She was a lot more nuanced in his story. Brissa was also much more likable in some ways than Nia. Although they both have their places in the stories. It's just, I think Brissa is the sort of character you can kind of have as a long-term Conan character, and maybe introduce, I don't know, as a long-term love interest. But I guess I'm just biased towards Zub's first couple of issues there. So but Nia's got some potential as a character. She is a good shaman woman character. So, overall, I do recommend these couple of issues. Dark Horse did for Conan what Vagabondo does for Musashi. And at least for the most part in this era. So, do check it out. Also, feel free to check out my book, Crown of Blood, and, of course, our Substack, which you can find in the description down below. And don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button to stay tuned for our next book club podcast video, which will be out next week.